All right, so this is something new.
Yeah.
So we don't know if this is going to be something that we're going to do at all times or over a month or maybe a couple of months, but I'm Brady Cannon.
I'm Dakota Harp.
And he's with Harp Films. I'm with Brady Cannon Films, and we film weddings.
Yeah.
He films weddings full-time.
That's right.
We got a full-time filmmaker, Parker Wallbeck. I just gave a shout-out, full-time filmmaker.
There you go.
Did I really just do that? But something came up last week, and I haven't posted a personal video on my YouTube channel since January 30th of last year.
Oh, wow.
So
okay.
almost a year. So I don't do this.
I'm trying to get more proactive on my YouTube channel and on social media and everything.
Right.
But
it's just so hard.
It's difficult. Yeah, especially whenever you're trying to edit through other weddings and then you got to make time to create this content separately.
Exactly. Yeah. And it's like we don't get paid for this
No.
part. But I feel like giving information out is so vital to people. I just feel like that's part of my calling is to give vital. And I know you feel the same way. And so something happened last week. And I called Dakota, and I'm like, dude, we got to make a video about this. And it's this. Here's what happened. I'll set up the scenario, and I'll ask you if you had the same kind of scenario. Okay. So I had a proposal that I sent out to a bride. And, of course, professional cinematographers, filmmakers, our prices are not cheap. And there's reasons why, which we'll talk about. And what happened was she said, thank you. I love your work, but I found somebody to do my wedding for under $500.
Whoa. Okay.
Exactly. So I asked this all the time. So I said, well, who did you get to film your wedding? Because if it was you, I was going to go to your house and like slice your tires. If it was you.
That's not me.
And she's told me the name, and I went to this person's Facebook, and I saw what they produce. Again, I'm not going to be rude because I'm not a rude person, but first thing that I noticed is what separates an amateur from a professional was audio.
Yeah, 100% of the time. I tell brides this all the time. We use at least 3 sources of audio. We'll mic the groom, we'll mic the priest, and then or a pastor, whoever's officiating, and then we'll plug into the sound system during a ceremony. Right. And between those 3, we're getting something good. But you can have okay video if you have amazing audio. But if you have amazing video, which anybody can do now, it seems like, you can run out to Best Buy and get a camera that shoots 4K for $500. Yeah. Turn around and shoot something that's at least pretty solid. Right. But if you have terrible audio, the whole thing falls apart.
That's right. And so I noticed the audio that it just looked like, and I tell brides this all the time, if you're not going to write a letter, maybe this should be to brides. Hey, brides, if you're getting married, write a letter or write your own vows or something. For sure. Because that's what gives us ways to tell the story. Mm-hmm. And I always tell, if there's no natural audio, then chances are it's just going to look like a really long music video.
Mm-hmm. That's exactly right.
Which isn't bad, but it's not going to be compared to other films that we've done. Yeah. And not only was that there's no audio, natural audio that you could hear the bride and groom, but they were using a very popular song as the music backdrop.
Please, please stop. If you have a videographer and they go something along the lines of, well, what's your first dance song? I'll use it in your video or something like that, or just run.
Ding, 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 ding.
Red flag.
And let's explain why.
Yeah, that would be good. That'd be good to dive into.
So why can't we use a song? I'm trying to think of one.
Speechless.
Speechless. Yeah. We can't use Dan and Shay's Speechless. Oh my God, that wedding song means so much to me. Dakota, can you please put that in my wedding film for me?
Well, from a legal perspective alone, no. Legal. Yeah. And so there's all kinds of copyright laws and everything, but for sure, if you're planning on sharing your video on Facebook or anything like that, right there, it can get flagged, it can get taken down, and then you have no way of sharing it with your friends and family. Aside from that, there's the copyright laws where we can get fined, you can get fined, and it's just not good for anybody. On top of that, creatively, it kind of it distracts from whatever's happening in your video. Let's say you have Speechless, and there are a lot of people have seen the music video for Speechless. It's that beautiful wedding film, and so you have that song playing, and then people are like, oh, this is my jam.
Yeah, they're not paying attention to you anymore.
They're not paying attention to you. They're listening to their favorite song, Speechless, that you dance with, and maybe they catch those few cute moments, but they're definitely not paying attention.
Right, and I had people ask me, hey, can we select our own music? And I say yes and no. So, I mean, not to give details about what we do, but I'm pretty sure you do the same thing. I get a vibe throughout the wedding day.
Yeah.
And I'll make notes to myself, and then while I'm editing, I see the vibe again, and I use musicbed.com. Pretty sure
I use
Soundstripe.
Soundstripe.
Soundstripe. And I use Soundstripe, Musicbed, and Artlist.
I've used them all.
I'm taken care of on subscriptions of music, but one thing I like about all those Soundstripe or Musicbed is you can go in there and go, okay, I want a folk feel, I want an Americano feel, I want this. And it allows us, the creators, to kind of, to make your film fit the way that we felt it that day.
Exactly. And, you know, a lot of times, too, I will kind of, if I've had one or two couples who were very, you know, they're like, the music means a lot to us. And so what I'll do is on Soundstripe, I can make a playlist.
Right.
And I'll kind of get a vibe of the day, like you said, or a vibe from what kind of music they like. I'll make a playlist, send it over to them, and go, hey, kind of flip through these songs, see which ones you like. And they'll pick out their top 5, top 3 or something like that. And then I can build kind of a profile based on that to use in the video. And that also helps me kind of, you know, with the edit a little bit, too, for how I want to tell the story.
Right. And one thing that I love about Musicbed is their app. They have a phone app.
Yes.
And so I told this, the bride just the other day, I was standing in this place and they said, can we help select our music? I said, I've never allowed this, but if you want, download Musicbed and find some songs on there that you like and send them to me.
Yeah.
And that way the music license paid for, because it costs, I do the business license, which is $1,000 a year, $1,044 a year, but you're able to use all their songs.
Yeah.
And to me, as a guy who used to use Musicbed when it was $50 a song, well, a feature film that's like 13 to 16 minutes, I would use 6 songs. So 6 times 50, we're talking about a lot of cash.
Over the course of a year, for sure.
And so that's a way to me that you immediately know that this person is an amateur.
Yeah.
By their popular music selection that they're using.
Popular music selection and poor audio quality.
Right. And honestly, I've heard, I don't know personally, but those lawyers are not just going to, especially if they're only charging $300, $400, number one, that's just an exchange. It's not over $600. I think there's a legal thing about $600 in recording for all that stuff.
You're right. Yeah, something like that.
And so they're going to go, I did this as a favor. So you may be the one that gets the $3,500 lawsuit against you for that song, because they're probably going to post it under your name.
Yeah.
So that's very important to know.
I didn't even think about that.
So definitely, if someone's using popular music and they're not paying the $2,000 license for that song, amateur.
Or more. I've seen some that, you know, there's some, somebody asked me to use a Lady Gaga song in one of their videos, and I want to say it was somewhere around $15,000 for the license. It was
that is crazy.
Absurd. Great job, Lady Gaga.
Yeah, but good job. You're killing it.
Yeah.
But at the same time, that's hard. Maybe this ought to be the whole channel that we do, is like what separates amateur to professional. Yeah. Because honestly, we all got started somewhere.
For sure. No, I remember shooting my first wedding. After I second shot, shooting my first solo wedding for $700 alongside a photographer who just kind of looked at a sketch comedy video I did, and he was like, "Hey, you know, and I feel like you could shoot a wedding." And so I had to start, and my first video was terrible, you know, but I continuously got better.
When was that?
That was in August of 2015.
Okay, so about four years.
But the thing was, I charged accordingly as I went. You know, like even whenever I was charging $700, it wasn't the first time I picked up a camera. I still did professional audio because I watched some YouTube channels and they were like, "Hey, audio matters." So I went to Best Buy. I picked up a little lapel microphone and plugged it into an iPhone and put it in the groom's pocket.
Nice.
And it worked great.
Yeah.
But, you know, as I went and bought more gear and got more experience, you know, the price increased, you know, accordingly.
Right, absolutely. And I mean, I got started in my first wedding film was 2009.
Wow.
Yeah, 10 years. Yeah, 10 years of doing this. And I used a popular song.
Ooh.
Yep. You cannot find that video anywhere, by the way. I used a popular song, and everybody loved it. It was fun, and then it booked me the next wedding and the next wedding. And they kept getting better and better. My first wedding, guess how much I charged?
How much?
I charged $200.
Oh.
And I said, can I do whatever I want to do? And this was before, like, wedding film. So I said, I do not want to make it look like a documentary an hour long. I said, I'm going to make a 5-minute fun highlight video. And the only thing highlight that I made before was like football films and stuff. So I was like, as long as I can do that, I'll charge you $200.
So it's kind of like a music video.
Absolutely. And it was perfect. It was great. And I was like, I found my
calling.
I found my niche. This is what I'm going to do. and it just evolved. And so let's talk about this. So our last thing that we can talk about today is why do we charge so much?
Okay. I get this question a lot, actually. And,
really? I never get this question.
Because you're kind of like higher end, you know, and yeah. I know, and I'm kind of like.
So are you, though.
No, I'm getting there, but I'm still kind of mid-range, you know, in my pricing and everything. And so there's a couple of reasons for that. One is just the overhead, kind of, you know, the cost of our gear. I have a studio that I maintain. Right. We pay second shooters, or sometimes, you know, unless we're solo shooting. We have the cost for music licensing. We got the cost for Premiere Pro or whatever software we're using. All these different add-ons. So just that alone goes into the price. Then the years of experience.
Right.
And then all the time that is spent editing, I think, is, for me, the biggest portion of my cost. I'll shoot for 8 hours on the wedding day, but I will spend months, you know, on the edit, you know, and I'll go and edit, and then I'll take a break and then come back to it, take a break. And the reason for that is so that I don't, one, get burnt out on the film, but two, so I can look at it with fresh eyes.
Right, absolutely.
Especially when it comes to color, especially whenever it comes to picking out little audio things.
And color is probably the biggest thing to come back to, because I'll
every time
I'll color grade, and then I'll come back the next day and be like, why did I choose to do that?
This looks terrible.
This looks terrible, because I believe in less color grade now.
Okay, no, for sure. I try and just get my color to look clean,
right,
and then I'll maybe add a little bit of style, kind of at the end.
Yeah, very, because you can go way over on style.
I'm guilty of that. I got hooked on the orange and teal look early on.
Peter McKinnon look.
Yeah. So I got really hooked on that, and so if you go look at I don't think you can find any of them online anymore. I think I've pulled them all down. But videos pre-2016, I think. 2016, 2017, we're definitely orange and teal.
You know what we ought to do for one video? We ought to
critique our old wedding films?
We ought to go back to our old wedding film and look at it. Again, you can't find mine because of copyright license.
Yeah.
But I took down every film from music, before Music Bed, there was nothing else to use.
Yeah. I did the same thing. Now that you mention it, I did the same thing for a video. I used a string cover of All of Me by John Legend.
Yeah.
That I ripped from YouTube.
So you didn't even buy it from iTunes. You ripped it.
Yeah. I forgot about that. That's
such
really
a sinner.
bad.
John Legend's coming for you. Watch out.
Yeah.
If this goes viral, he's coming for you.
You can't find it. No evidence.
But I think that would be fun to do, because before Music Bed, like I said, I had to use popular songs and stuff because there was no way to download. And so I'll never forget, I was sitting in a hotel in Birmingham, Alabama, and I was so worried about copyright, because I heard about, 10 years go by and everything's fine, then all of a sudden something happens. And something happened with one of my videos that I can't talk about, and I got freaked out. Yeah. And so I downloaded every single one of my films from Vimeo, and I deleted them all that night. I'm in hotel Wi-Fi, by the way.
Ooh,
trying to download these films.
That was a nice, quick process.
Oh my God, it was terrible. So, and we were there for a church conference, and so I'm feeling conviction about doing this, and so I deleted every single video of mine that had illegal music on it. And I learned my lesson, and now every single song. So again, that's what cost for me is, because it does cost. The music license cost, finding the time, searching. Yeah. Most people, I don't take as long to search for music. Yeah. I know a lot of people sit there. One of our friends, Hunter, he talked about, oh my God, I'm sitting there for 6 hours trying to find music. I'm not, because of the playlist and because of the selection.
I listen to the music on Soundstripe regularly, and as I like songs, I have
favorite it?
Yeah, I favorite it. I have a wedding playlist. I have a slow wedding and a fast wedding playlist, and then I just go and pick from that usually. Right.
So here's the main reason why I believe that we cost what we do. And I probably cost a little more than photographers right now, because the way I have to tell brides is, your photographer has one camera, maybe a backup camera, one long lens, one prime. For everything we do, we have to copy 3 times because somebody goes with the groom, someone goes with the bride, and then we have a third camera or 4 cameras or sometimes 5. In the ceremony. So what you see as this package, we have to actually triple or quadruple that. And so one camera system, our one bride prep bag is $10,000 worth of equipment, and the lens is $2,400, and the other lens is $2,100, and so all that stuff adds up. And so we're only there 7 to 9 hours on a wedding day, and we have a day rate that we look at. But when it comes to editing and putting stuff together, that's invaluable. I mean, honestly,
no, I agree,
and because it does take time.
Yeah, and that takes it takes a lot of experience too to kind of know how to cull through footage and to know what you're looking for.
Yeah, absolutely. And so that's why we cost the way that we do.
I agree.
And it is experience. Yes, you can go get somebody to film your wedding for $800. And it may be great, and they may be starting out, and then in 2 years, I guarantee that person, actually probably in a year or after a couple weddings, they're not going to be $800.
Yeah, no.
Because there is so much that goes into it, from lighting. Just the lights that we use are $600 for receptions. You know, so, and the microphones we use are $350 a pop. We use the Countryman mics. And so...
And I use Tascam DR10Ls.
They're 179. Yeah, and they had a deal for 125.
I know. I missed it.
I got one. I got another one. So now I have 4 of them. They're just so great.
They're awesome.
But that stuff costs money, and people don't realize that. And so, yes, you're not only paying for our good looks to be at your wedding, but you're also paying for the experience and the camera gear.
Yeah.
So here's what I want to do. Speaking of camera gear.
Okay.
I think I want to film a wedding with the C300 Mark II.
I was like, you know what? If you haven't done it yet, I'll borrow it from you. I'll shoot the wedding on it.
Dude, can you imagine showing up to that?
You need a giant. I have the heavy duty monopods. You need to use one of those.
Good Lord. But I was thinking combine that with the EOS R and then use the C100s as a backup. Like do a whole cinema wedding.
Oh yeah,
like we used to, because we used to.
That's
use
like
the
shooting a wedding on a red almost.
I know. I think that would be kind of fun to do.
I'd do it.
Maybe my next high-end wedding, I'll do that. That would be good. So if you're a high-end bride, let me know, and we'll film that wedding. But we're very collaborative. Like I think last year I was looking over. I think I sent you 12 weddings.
Yeah,
15
there
weddings.
Are definitely a few. Man, I'm trying to think. Yeah, you sent me a lot. I didn't necessarily get to book all of them, but you sent me a lot.
Why, you didn't like them?
No, I was yes, I refuse to book anyone sent to me by Brady.
Yeah.
No, I got a lot of inquiries from you, and I actually sent a few your way too. Yeah.
You did. I was already booked up, but you.
Yeah, I know. It's the same thing.
You did.
That's it. Yeah. If you were watching this and you were a bride and you're thinking to yourself, the videographer is the last thing on my list, don't do that. Go ahead and just at least give them a call today. Get your name on the books.
Yes.
Because I literally just this last month I had somebody and I just happened to be available. They booked me 3 days before their wedding.
I had that happen not too long ago.
Yay. Too. Yeah. So it happens, and I've had others like that. But I'd say I get probably 30 inquiries a year that I'm already booked on.
Yeah.
And they're booking a year out.
Yeah.
So don't wait.
What's your longest wedding that you have booked out right now?
2 years.
2 years?
Okay. So they booked me out 2 years in advance. It's 2021, November of 2021.
I have a November 2021 too.
Oh, no way.
Yes.
Okay.
It just got booked.
Yeah. And that bride, I'm like, you were on the ball. And, and it's so easy. I just do a deposit up front and I go pay you the rest of your balance the day before the wedding. There's a ton of
that's how you do your payments?
Yeah. There's a ton of different ways that people have done them. You can do like half before, half after the edit's done. And
that's what I do. Yeah. Because I feel a whole lot better than taking everybody's money up front.
I'm thinking about switching to that. The only reason I do that is because the first wedding I ever shot, I sent them their video and I didn't get paid for another 6 months.
Oh, and see, I don't send their video until I get the final payment.
Okay, so I was traumatized from that.
Yeah. Actually, I lie. I have one bride right now, one mom who I'm still waiting for the check. But I did this thing. I was trying to get it to him by Christmas. Yeah. And so it was like Christmas Day. I'm like, I'm going to send it to you right now.
Yeah.
And I trust you. And I do trust all my brides.
Yeah.
Because I do screen you. And I do Facebook. I Facebook stalk you, so I know who I'm dealing with.
Yeah, but that's true.
Yeah. And so we work well together, and I think we're going to continue to work well together. And he's going to keep upping his prices, which is
slowly
great.
But surely.
Yeah. We got to up those prices. And brides who are watching maybe like, no,
don't do it.
Don't up your price.
If I'm upping my pricing, it's because I'm adding something to the value of it. Either I'm adding in better equipment or more time, something like that.
Yeah, something like that. And you have a baby now too, and
I got to pay them bills.
And you got to pay those bills, and it costs now for you to be away from them.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
See, that's what other people don't understand is part of the time is being away from your family, and like
on weekends.
Weekends, and so for us to be away from our families, it's got to be not just valuable in relationships, it's got to be valuable in the pocket too.
Yeah.
You know, you got to make a living doing this.
Yeah.
Especially you, because you're full-time doing it.
Yes, I am. Yeah, you have a church job.
I have a church job.
Yeah, no, I'm full-time wedding videographer and occasionally commercial.
There you go. And I'm probably now more 80% commercial and 20% weddings.
Yeah.
I still love, everybody's like, when are you going to stop filming weddings? I'm like, when I hate going to weddings.
Yeah.
The day I look at a wedding and go, ugh, that's when I stop filming weddings.
Yeah, no, I haven't gotten there yet, and I sure hope I don't anytime soon.
Because maybe another episode is dealing with photographers, because that's where I got that from. Was when I first got into the business, I worked with a couple of photographers who were just hateful and mean. Yeah. Not to me, but to the brides.
Yeah.
And just nasty
I've
to
had
be around.
that. I've had that.
And I asked why, and they're like, I've just been doing this for 20 years. And I'm like, okay, well, then you need to get out.
Yeah.
If you have a passion doing more commercial work, then get out. And one of my friends, she actually told me, she said she doesn't film weddings anymore because she really enjoys the creative lighting, you know, that from commercials and not the craziness of a wedding day. And I said, great, because you'd probably make your brides miserable if you really didn't want to be there.
Yeah.
So
for sure.
Anyway, anything else? Hire a professional.
Hire a professional, and if they're charging, it may seem like a lot at first, but you're getting your money's worth.
It's not. And ask for referrals.
Yeah.
Ask for referrals and examples of their film.
Yes, definitely. Yeah. You get what you pay for.
Absolutely. So stalk other people who say they can do it for $500 and make sure they're not using a popular song. Because it may come back to bite you 5 years later, 10 years later, or 11 like mine.
Yep. So it can happen.
Cool deal?
Yep.
Awesome. See you next time.